Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. Phase 2 of BC's pandemic strategy officially starts this week, including the partial opening of schools. Black Lives Matter protests around the world coming to Chilliwack this Friday. Dredging gravel out of the Vedder River and watering restrictions begin. And thanks for watching. We are committed to providing local news and news that impacts our local audience from Harrison to Garrison, Greendale to Hope, and everywhere in between, including Ryder Lake, Cultus Lake, Chilliwack Mountain, Squaw First Nation, Greendale, Squeala First Nation, Cultus Lake, and Five Corners, Chilliwack. Our very special guest this week is a grade 12 Chilliwack secondary student, Leandra Soliel, here to discuss her Black Lives Matter march for Chilliwack schools, and that is planned for Friday afternoon, and that starts at 4 o'clock. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. This past Monday, June 1st, was the real start of Phase 2 to reopen the economy in the continuing COVID-19 pandemic. As schools open on a voluntary basis for kindergarten to grade 12, a reminder that school zone speed limits were back in force as well. BC Transit returning to front door loading and the collection of fares at all BC Transit communities. And with the change, fares will be collected on conventional, community, and handy-dart services. BC Transit installing a temporary vinyl panel to allow for physical distancing for the operator and customers on all buses without a full driver door. This new safety measure aligns with the direction from the provincial health officer. June 1st also saw the reopening of many city services and playgrounds throughout Chilliwack and the Fraser Valley. An organization called Chilliwack Black Lives Matter has organized a march in response to the death of the unarmed Minneapolis African-American George Floyd. The now fired and charged Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been charged with third-degree murder. The three other officers have been now charged with aiding and abetting. Floyd died when the officer kneeled on his neck and blocked his airway. Local organizers Leandra Soliel, who's a local grade 12 student, and Max Gill stated on their Facebook page that the march will be from Chilliwack Secondary School to the Chilliwack Coliseum. This will be on Friday. Leandra has been the victim of local racism all her life. She's part African Canadian, part First Nations. chillTV will have an interview with her later on in the show. June 1st, also the start of the summer watering restrictions for Chilliwack. Working on the odd-even system, watering your lawn should be done between 5 and 8 in the morning and 7 and 10 at night. And when we return, dredging gravel from the Vedder River. One may not think much of dredging gravel from a river as a big problem, but actually it is. The proposed gravel removal for the Vedder River and Canal has sparked a public awareness campaign from a number of stakeholders. That includes the Gravel Stewardship Group and the Fraser Valley Salmon Society. The 2020 plan by the City of Chilliwack is expected to remove up to 95,000 cubic meters of gravel from 8 sites from the Vedder River and Canal. While this is done for flood protection and maintenance, the argument is that it would significantly harm, alter, disrupt, and destroy sensitive fish habitat in one of British Columbia's most important salmon and steelhead streams. Letters of concern have been sent to local, provincial, as well as federal stakeholders. The conservation group BCB Black Bears Association is again putting out the plea to homeowners in bear areas to keep the garbage secure and only put it out for collection just hours before pickup. The concern remains that any bear who is used to feeding off human garbage will turn into a problem. The group would rather see bears relocated, but many times the bears simply have to be put down by conservation officers. The nuts and bolts of Yarrow Days reimagined for 2020 due to COVID-19 is now ready to go. This is an alternative way to safely celebrate small town living. It happens this weekend, June the 6th and 7th. The theme is Yarrow Together in Spirit. On both Saturday and Sunday, that will be the Yarrow Scavenger Hunt. Entry forms and more info can be found at yarrowcommunity.com or the Yarrow Community Happenings Facebook page. By the way, they are selling t-shirts and tank tops now. Coming up next, our taped interview with Chilliwack grade 12 student Leandra Soliel and her Black Lives Matter march for Chilliwack, scheduled for tomorrow, June the 5th. Chill TV, you are watching and being part of an interview that this is going to be a very interesting week in Chilliwack as we're watching what is happening in the United States and Black Lives Matter. And there will be two marches in the Fraser Valley, one in Abbotsford, but there will also be one in Chilliwack. And Leandra, Soliel, and how do you pronounce your last name?
Knife coming.
Okay. Leandra, you've put together this Chilliwack march. How did this come together? And you had mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, African, Canadian, and First Nations?
Yeah, I am. So I'm half African, half First Nation.
How old were you when you first had any type of an inkling about racism, and what was anything at all thrown at you at a younger age?
So for me, at a younger age, just growing up in an Indigenous community, I kind of realized it in elementary. I kind of heard some types from older people, my friends' parents, and it was like they didn't realize that I came from an Indigenous community. They would see me as either Black or either First Nations. But another thing was when you grow up, you realize you start looking back at some encounters you had when you were little, and you realize that you did experience some racism. And yeah, that's kind of just what's been happening for a while.
You strike me as not one who is bitter, but one that is, okay, this has happened, and this is the situation in the United States and Canada is happening now, and you want to do something positive about it. How did the march come together? Because there's a lot of moving parts with this. You're starting off at Chilliwack Secondary, so I would assume the school board is involved. You've got RCMP helping you out with the route. You're going to be ending up at a City of Chilliwack facility at Chilliwack Coliseum. This must have taken a lot of planning on your part.
Yeah, it has. I'm really thankful that I have a lot of help. I have my team and I. We're also all students at Chilliwack Secondary, so I have some friends from student council, previous student council members, helping me with this. So this kind of came to mind because we thought a peaceful march would be appropriate, and to kind of bring awareness and solidarity within our community, and to do a march that would be really nice and peaceful.
There was a poster that went out on social media. Please join us in an honorary march. And this is not a time to be silent, but we encourage, obviously, social distancing, but encouraging the peaceful aspect of this. Are you fairly confident that this will be, because it'll be a good 2-hour march, are you pretty sure that this will go off, can't say without a hitch, but fairly smoothly?
There has been a lot of planning to the march that's going to be on Friday. So I trust that it's go out fairly smoothly. We have a good RCMP team helping with us, and we have all the leadership youth in our city coming, and we have trusted adults coming. And so yes, I do think that it will go out smoothly, and I hope it will.
And we have noticed that a number of school trustees are going to be part of this. Leandra, Friday, it starts at 4 at Chilliwack Secondary, through down Yale, through downtown, past Five Corners. Will there be a quick speech there, or will the speeches be at Chilliwack Coliseum?
All the speeches will be at Chilliwack Coliseum.
Okay. Leandra, wish you all the best. I will see you at Five Corners with the camera. And this is phenomenal and appropriate that you're going to be doing Indigenous studies in the fall at UFV, or at UVic rather. All the best to you. We will see you on Friday.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Leandra. And you're watching Chill TV News of the Week. BC Hockey League updating their return to play plans for the 2021 season. On last weekend's final AGM call, the Board of Governors reviewed several different models put forth by the league office and the recently appointed Return to Play Task Force. Now, earlier this month, the BC Hockey League created that task force, which is responsible for outlining several different scenarios and how and when the league can resume its schedule while working with the provincial health authorities to develop return to play guidelines and safety measures. Though return to play has not been granted, pre-registration for Chilliwack FC soccer is now open for evaluations in order to be considered as a developmental player for the 2021 season. Now, by pre-registering, you will be indicating your interest in participating, and this will enable the office to distribute relevant information to you as soon as it's possible and available. And BC Soccer has made it clear that they have yet to receive any go-ahead to resume play. RCMP officers, together with law enforcement personnel and Special Olympics BC athletes in the community, are approaching the starting line for this week's Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics BC. It's a virtual run taking place across the Lower Mainland. In past years, law enforcement officers come together in their communities to raise funds and awareness. This year, the participants will not be running and walking together to make their individual kilometers count for the cause. The National Hockey League announcing its plan for 24 teams to make the playoffs should play resume. That would include the Vancouver Canucks, and the caveat is the travel and health concerns. They would have to be addressed, so right now, no hockey. Vancouver was considered to be a hub city that might have included the Abbotsford Centre, but with the current restrictions, that probably won't happen.
Wasting away, watching clouds float by my window.
chillTV weather. June starts with a mix of sun and showers and the highs close to 20. Thanks to Leandra Soliel for our interview with her this week on the Black Lives Matter March that's coming up tomorrow. And thanks for watching chillTV's News of the Week. We appreciate your watching. If you would like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.